Hello and welcome back to another video. Today here again on Forza Horizon 5. It's for another Event Lab build, my first sort of proper build since the latest update with 97 new props added to Event Lab, which I did do a full video taking a look at about a week ago if you want to go and check that one out first, where I built a very simple, small section of a city, making use of some of the new skyscrapers and stuff. But today I thought I would come in here and try and, well, build something properly using the abandoned airfield for the purposes of this, because it means we already have a nice flat tarmac surface to work with. But let's try and build something that feels like a sort of real-life street circuit. So you joined me probably roughly 4 hours into the build. So although a lot of these are prefabricated, it still takes quite a long time to place them, and certain things still need sort of building just to vary the city, because we can't really make it just out of these tower blocks. So this is essentially where the start line is going to be, where we have the Aston at the moment, so I probably need to put some sort of gantry here. But I have basically set out the whole route. I just need to carry on doing props. So it kind of narrows and widens in various places. Spent quite a lot of time fiddling about with these barriers to make sure they're dead straight and that we can fit both sides of the course. So although this looks quite wide, once you start building it's incredibly narrow, so we can't really weave in and out of buildings. We're only going to be able to have them on either side, which is fine. So yeah, I haven't done much with this end, so I'm just going to quickly whiz down here with the drone so you can see what the route looks like. We've got a nice sort of widening at the end so that you can take this corner, and we've got an escape road because street circuits have those for if you're racing in wet conditions, for example, like in Singapore. Anyway, we've got a nice wide exit there with a runoff, and then the difficulty here is trying to make enough corners so it's not just a straight. Did manage to squeeze in quite a tight one there just to make sure we went around the plane, which I'm obviously going to try and hide as we continue with this build. So the idea is you're not going to be able to see any of that. You're only going to be able to see city things and mountains behind, which you'll see more as we get to this end. That's kind of what I'm going for across the whole circuit. I've built a kind of industrial yard here around the abandoned hangar, because this side's kind of going to be the industrial side, and that's going to be the kind of apartments and living side, which I'm going to carry on down there, and somewhere up there I'm going to put a marina so we can make use of that new yacht and make it into a sort of posher area of the city. But yeah, this is all going to be the industrial bit. We've got a sort of container yard in here, which I'm thinking of moving so we can put a grandstand in there. And this is what I've done for a pit lane so far. That just sort of loops round and goes back to the start line there. So yeah, I am trying to include a little pit lane here. It doesn't work brilliantly because you have to go quite a long way round to get to the pit box, but at least it's a detour. I've made the mistake of making the pit lane shorter than the actual course previously, meaning people can cheat basically. And I've made an pit garage complete with, well, moving things on it, and I've made the roof out of a barn. I think this is what the barns are going to be most useful for. I've made this roof out of that one and this roof out of the Horizon 3 one. But that's what it's looking like so far. So about 5 hours later it's finished. Not all of that was build time, so I think it probably still took me just under 10 hours maybe, hopefully, with the substantial amount of time saved with these new prefabricated buildings. You will notice as we head down towards turn 1 that there aren't any boats or marina as we go round. Basically, I ran out of prop limit quite unexpectedly, in fact, as the usage bar is still as broken as it was before, despite Forza saying that they've patched that problem. So basically I finished, backed out, and then came back in and found I was like 114%. So something had to go, and after much arguing with myself about what I should remove, I did eventually settle on the boats and the marina. I wasn't quite sure about them anyway. They looked out of place, because basically I had to put skyscrapers behind them to obscure the backdrop of the abandoned airfield, basically. And it just looked a bit odd having the marina completely surrounded by buildings with sort of no sea behind it, if you see what I mean. So yeah, decided to do away with that part. I do like, however, that I've finally managed to integrate a pit lane sort of successfully, even if it is off to one side. It's an idea I've had ever since I started playing this game, but never found a good kind of location for it. So I'm pleased that that kind of works. As ever with my Event Lab creations, I've shared an afternoon and nighttime blueprint, because I always like to put some sort of atmospheric purple lighting around, which I think gives an amazing vibe when set to night. I've seen some brilliant nighttime blueprints people have created with all the different coloured lights. It does just look stunning. Both blueprints are set to 5 laps, although due to the unique way Forza works with custom routes, you actually start on lap 0 sometimes. Which seems to have applied to this, so you're going to have to complete 6 laps. Not that that really matters. I haven't shared any versions with AI either, as some of them would start on lap 0 and some on lap 1, so the race didn't really work at all. And I think it probably is better like that because it is quite narrow, and I did try with them and they pushed you into quite a lot of walls, let's say. And I don't think street circuits are ever very good for racing, especially in Forza, so I think this one's better for just enjoying or potentially hot lapping. I found it quite fun trying to get as close to the walls as you can, but without being in a race environment. I am also thinking that maybe using the airfield as the start line for this was a mistake. The overgrown nature of it makes it look a little bit too abandoned for a city street circuit, I think. I'll probably therefore be starting my next build from the drag strip at the festival, and as city routes aren't great for racing, I might just go for building a sort of free roam city that you can enjoy driving around, so to speak. A bit like the one I showed last week, but bigger and more finished and sort of polished looking. And that is going to be all for my latest Event Lab creation here on Forza Horizon 5. Do let me know what you think of today's route. Any feedback is welcome. And would you like to see me build some kind of bigger city at the festival drag strip, as I suggested a minute ago? As ever, if you have your own routes that you would like me to test and potentially show in a future Event Lab video like this one, you can submit them over on my Discord server, which is linked in the description. Or if you don't have Discord, you can send share codes to me on Xbox or in the comments. That, though, is going to be all for today's video, so thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with the next video very soon.